Johnny here, and I just wanted to do a quick rundown on the parts of the bass so we can figure out what this thing is that we're trying to make music on and learn a little bit about how it works. So at the top of the bass is the headstock, and the headstock contains the tuning pegs and the tuning keys, and on the other side are the machine heads. And this is the Leo Fender design from the I don't know, late 40s or early 50s, where it's shaped like this, and he put all the tuning keys on one side on the top, so they all spin the same way, as opposed to the traditional way where you would split them up and have them on either side of the headstock like an acoustic guitar. And this little doodad is called a string tree, and that holds the strings down and keeps them from hopping out of the slots down here. So from the headstock we go down into the neck, and the neck is made up of the neck piece, which is this light brown piece of wood, and in the neck piece on the top there's a hole like a channel routed down through the top of it, and that's where the truss rod lays in there. And on this bass the truss rod is accessible right down through at the bottom here, and the truss rod keeps the bass neck from curving or bowing. And then on top of that is this dark piece of wood called the fretboard, and the fretboard gets glued down right on top of the neck piece, and that's the surface that we fret our notes on. And it contains the nut right here. This thing's a nut, and it has slots filed in it that hold the strings in place, and it has the frets inlaid in there, and these little dots are called inlays. Now this is where the neck attaches to the body, and on Fender basses, Leo Fender chose to use 4 screws to bolt the neck down, and this is the attachment point. And 4 screws, it works, On this bass, the neck and the body piece are one piece of wood, and this is called a neck through body, where there's no attachment point because it's just one piece of wood, and then the fretboard gets glued on top of that. So this is a different way to do it, where there's no screws involved, so it can't wiggle around at all because it's just one piece of wood. And on this bass there might be a little chance for a little wiggling around because, after all, it is just 4 screws holding it on there. So if you're planning on swinging your bass around by the neck on stage or something, just keep in mind that this joint could loosen up a little bit. The body of the bass contains the pick guard, and underneath the pick guard is the electronics cavity where the pickups and the wires from the pickups go to the knobs and down through the output jack. So these are the pickups that take the vibrations from the strings and amplify it through your bass amp somehow. All I know is that there are these little metal pieces, these little metal poles that stand up in here with copper wire wrapped around them. And as we all know, when you take copper wire and wrap it around some metal pieces, loud music comes out of your bass amp. Don't we all know that? So anyway, those are the pickups, and then down here is the bridge, and this is what holds our strings at the bottom. And the bridge contains the string saddles that the strings sit on, and these can be adjusted going up and down, and there's a screw to go this way too for the intonation. And on the back, this bass allows us to put the strings through the bass body, because people think that it'll vibrate the bass body more and give you more sustain, maybe, I don't know. And if not, there are holes right here, so you don't have to do that if you don't care, or if you're just really drunk at the time. And also back here is the battery cavity, because these are active pickups, and to make them get a little more juice, you would put the battery in there and power them up. On most Fender basses, in order to get to the electronics cavity where all the wiring is, you have to take the pick guard off. And you have to unscrew all these little screws and take this off, which pretty much means you have to take the strings off too. So it's kind of a pain, but that's how Fenders are designed. On this bass, they make it easier because the electronics cavity is carved into the back of the bass, and they just put this panel on the back, and you just have to unscrew a couple of screws and you got access to it. You don't have to take all the strings off and stuff. So that makes it a little easier, and a lot of basses are set up this way.